Here's your news rush for August 13, 2026. 6 stories. Let's go. Putin just threatened to seize ships anywhere in the world, not just where Europe is acting. Speaking during Pacific Fleet drills, Putin said Russia would seize European vessels if the EU keeps confiscating and selling oil from Russia's so-called shadow fleet, ships used to move Russian oil around Western sanctions. He called Europe's new seizure powers, adopted in July, nothing less than piracy and robbery. But the detail that matters most is where he says Russia could respond. Putin specifically said retaliation would not be limited to the waters where Russian ships were seized, it could happen anywhere Moscow sees fit, including the Pacific. That means this threat is bigger than the shipping lanes it started in. Subscribe for more. That's world news, fast. A UN human rights team has now documented what the vast majority of freed Ukrainian prisoners describe going through. According to the UN's Human Rights Monitoring Mission, 96% of released Ukrainian prisoners of war gave accounts of torture or ill treatment in Russian detention, including stress positions, electric shocks, and mock executions. More than half also reported sexual violence, the UN says. Ukrainian officials say more than 9,000 Ukrainians have been returned through prisoner exchanges, but thousands more remain in Russian custody. Russia denies the allegations and calls them a disinformation campaign. We are reporting what the UN's monitoring mission documented, not describing individual cases. Subscribe for more. That's world news, fast. Israel just ended a week without a targeted strike in Gaza, during active peace talks. The Israeli military says a drone strike hit a Hamas commander in Beit Lahia, in northern Gaza, though it is unclear if he was killed. It is the first targeted strike Israel has announced since August 3. The timing matters because Hamas has reportedly accepted a US-backed roadmap to decommission its weapons and wind down the war, but Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu rejected the terms this week, saying Hamas must fully disarm first. That means a strike landed in the exact week both sides are supposed to be negotiating an end to strikes like this one. Subscribe for more. That's world news, fast. The youngest White House press secretary in history is stepping down. President Trump announced that Caroline Leavitt will leave the role at the end of August, saying she wants more time with her 2 young children after returning to the job following her daughter's birth. Trump says Leavitt will stay involved as one of his top outside advisors and an influential voice in the Republican Party heading into the midterms. At just over 18 months, her tenure is the second longest for a Trump press secretary, behind only Sarah Huckabee Sanders' nearly 2 years in his first term. That means the fastest press briefings America has seen are about to get a new face. Subscribe for more. That's world news, fast. One of the country's best-known trackers of extremist groups was just arrested by her own former employer's watchdogs. The Justice Department says Heidi Beirich, former director of intelligence at the Southern Poverty Law Center, was arrested and charged with wire fraud, conspiracy to submit false statements to a bank, and money laundering. Prosecutors allege she oversaw roughly $4.2 million in fraudulent donor payments to informants inside hate groups between 2007 and 2023. Including one informant she was allegedly in a relationship with and shared a bank account. Her attorney says she is innocent and the case is without merit. But here is why this case is bigger than one person. She is the first individual named in the Justice Department's broader case against the SPLC itself. Subscribe for more. That's world news, fast. Researchers just cleared an HIV-like virus in every single test animal, all 8 of them. Scientists at Oregon Health and Science University say they gave infant macaques infected with a simian version of HIV 3 treatments within 72 hours of exposure, antibodies, standard antiretroviral therapy, and an experimental antibody called leronlimab. 1 year later, researchers say none of the 8 animals showed any viral rebound. But this is a monkey study, published in Nature Microbiology, not a proven cure in human babies yet, though researchers say it could move to human trials soon. That means the science looks genuinely promising, but the real test is still ahead. Subscribe for more. That's world news, fast. That's your news rush for today. Subscribe so you never miss a day.